Welcome to a week in the life with the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. In this video, we're going to be rocking this phone for an entire week in this gorgeous jade color. We're going to be testing out the battery life and the amazing new cameras on this phone, and we're going to be dishing our iPhone for an entire week. Now, luckily, Google has made it really easy to switch from an iPhone, and they have not been subtle about their competition with Apple this year. Now, right off the bat, let me say that this is the most Apple-feeling Android device that I've ever tried, and this is obviously intentional. Google wants as many people from Apple to be able to switch over to Android without really feeling that difference. Now, I think that this actually works really well both ways because Android users who are curious about trying Apple can also now transfer to Apple without feeling much of a difference. Also, I got to try out Android Auto for the first time ever. My daily driver is a Tesla, which doesn't take Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but luckily I'm actually doing a shoot for Audi this week, which I'll hopefully bring you guys along for. And so this car is compatible with Android Auto, and I got to try it in a bunch of different circumstances in this video. Now, I'll definitely talk about Android Auto a little bit more in the video and show you guys examples, but day one is all about getting used to the brand new Pixel 10 Pro XL along with the Pixel Buds Pro 2. Now, I've never used the Pixel Buds Pro 2 before. If you've watched any of my other day in the life videos, I generally just use my AirPod Maxes with whatever Android device that I'm using, but it was nice to get the massive headphones off of my head and use something a lot more smaller. I was really impressed with the noise cancellation. I didn't really feel a difference from my usual setup. I also took the phone with me, obviously, to go ahead and play basketball in the morning, which I do most Mondays, and I got to test out the camera and the battery life and really push the phone a little bit early in the day while getting some buckets. And yes, this half-court shot only took one attempt. Now, once I was done playing and I had been awake for a couple of hours now and playing music throughout my entire workout, the phone was only down 3%, which was impressive, but again, is really expected of a brand new device, so I wasn't all that surprised. I've tested tons of Android devices, and on day one and right out of the box, they do incredibly well. It's really the overtime battery that you have to worry about. But overall, I was really impressed with the performance of the device, and especially how well it connected to Android Auto. Now, once I got home, I was genuinely exhausted from the night before and setting up my phone and staying up super late, which in hindsight was probably not a good idea, and I really wanted to take a nap. But before that, I had some Pokemon cards that I wanted to open, and if you guys have been watching the recent day in the life videos, this is something that I've definitely gotten into recently, but Lady Luck has definitely not been on my side. Although these booster bundles were not that bad, I did pulling 2 IRs, which I took a photo of with the Pixel, and then I was just hanging out with Theo on the couch for a little bit, and he decided to bite me, which was really unpleasant, but at least it shows the details in the photos that the Pixel 10 Pro XL takes. Now, once I got bit, I wasn't really in the mood to work anymore, so I went ahead and took a quick nap. Now, at around 5 p.m., I was still in bed, as you can see, and watching TikToks, but the phone was still at 70%, which was honestly really impressive. But having slept away a good chunk of the day, I was expecting some deliveries that I had to work on. Now, this is my setup that I use for a lot of my talking head videos, and here I'm actually working on a couple of videos for a few different brands. I'm going to be doing some stuff for Red Bull. They are a new partner that I'm going to be working with on a super exciting project, and DJI is something that you guys have definitely become accustomed to. That was a photo of the Mic 3s that you just saw, and hopefully they're out by the time that you see this video. Now, with our daily videos out of the way, I really wanted to go out and test the capabilities of the cameras on the Pixel 10 Pro XL, and I figured what better place to take photos at than grocery shopping. There's tons of colors and varieties of textures, and I have to say the photos coming out of the Pixel 10 Pro XL both in daytime and during the night, which we definitely tested today, are absolutely gorgeous. They have some of the best algorithms and post-processing on camera that I've ever seen. These are definitely the best straight out of camera photos that I've ever seen on any smartphone. Whatever algorithm or whatever function that they're doing is absolutely incredible. Now, I did have one more video that I had to shoot today, And luckily I was able to shoot it both on my Canon R5C as well as on the Pixel 10 Pro XL to compare the differences in quality. Now obviously my Canon R5C is almost a $5,000 cinema camera and the Pixel 10 Pro XL is just a smartphone, and I was genuinely surprised at the amount of detail that the Pixel 10 Pro XL was able to capture, especially in fully automatic mode. Now I did forget to take a screenshot, but we ended day one at 40%, which I thought was pretty impressive given what I had put the phone through on the first day.
Yo 6 Samsung event is at Mississauga. Do you want to reply?
Yes.
What's the message?
Yeah, bro, the location is actually sick for us for once. Are you coming to the 4 p.m. one?
Yeah, so after using Android Auto only for one day, I realized really quickly that it's significantly better than Apple CarPlay at replying to messages. But this morning, I'm actually out testing the camera on the Pixel 10 Pro XL because I had to make a reel for Google for their 100x ProRes zoom feature that they just added. And honestly, I know it's using generative AI to clean up the image from the before and after, but it looks really good, and I really hope that more phones adopt this sort of strategy of using AI to enhance some of their photography. I'm also out here doing some location scouting for that Audi shoot that we talked about earlier, and I have some really good ideas that I think will do really well for the video, and hopefully I'll be able to finish the video before I finish editing this vlog and I can include it in here for you guys to check out. But honestly, today was a really slow day in terms of work and in content because it is my wife and I's anniversary today for when we went on our first date many years ago. So I actually spent most of the day just hanging out, chilling, relaxing, and we went to go watch the movies at night, and the movie that we saw is Weapons. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I was really excited to check it out, and I gotta say the movie is definitely worth it. You should go check it out if you're into thriller or horror or that genre whatsoever. Also, today is the day that I discovered Blip. Blip is an AirDrop equivalent that lets you transfer files from Android to iOS and vice versa, and it's super convenient. So if you're someone who's thinking about switching from Apple to Samsung or Google or vice versa, and you're worried about missing Android, you definitely should not be. I made it completely through my day fine, being able to transfer files back and forth from my MacBook to my Google device, and again, vice versa. Now, I know a lot of creators are going to think about buying the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL as their main content capture device. And if that's you, well, luckily today I'm working with a brand called Hohem to test out one of their gimbals. This is the iSteady V3 Ultra. And honestly, I had a really good time using the Pixel 10 Pro XL with this gimbal. Generally, a lot of these gimbals are designed for iOS and Apple, and they perform a lot better on Apple devices. But this gimbal did phenomenally, and it really kept up with the Pixel 10 Pro XL. I was able to record wirelessly and use all the features on the gimbal without any kind of issue. So that brings me to my point. Do I think that you could use the Pixel 10 Pro XL as a primary content capture device as a content creator? And I think that if you're into photography, then yes, this will fit perfectly in your workflow. Again, I think the photos coming out of this phone are absolutely phenomenal, and it's definitely come a long way in video as well. I remember when I tested out the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 9s, I was not that impressed. But whatever changes they've made this year to the HDR video, it does look significantly better, especially like you saw in that video example from a couple of days ago on Monday when I compared my Canon R5C to the Pixel 10 Pro XL. Now, sticking to the topic of video for a quick second, I did have to take the Audi for a car wash because I'm planning to do the shoot tonight, and I noticed that anytime I took a video in the not super night mode, there was a lot of noise in the shadows. So that's just something for you to know if you're planning to shoot videos in darker environments. Okay, so I spent the morning filming and editing the video for the Hohem iSteady V3 Ultra. It works really great with the Pixel, which is really nice to see. The connectivity, the record functions, everything works really well. I only mention that because they don't always work so well with Android. but it's nice to see that it works good, or it works well with the Pixel. That video is now shipped off to the client. Hopefully there's no feedback. I hate doing edits on short form content, and hopefully that also gives you guys some insight as to what goes into making these short form videos for clients. Anyways, after that, I went out to that location where I did some location scouting yesterday for the Audi shoot. I tried to film a couple of shots, but honestly the lighting was just too harsh and it wasn't working out. So I might have to revisit the concept or find a new area or try again tomorrow morning. We'll see. But now we're headed to the Samsung head office for an NDA event. And I don't know if I'll be able to share what I see there or what the event is about by the time this video comes out. But if I can, I definitely will. But if I can't, then that'll be a future video. But yeah, that's where I'm headed right now. And to be honest, this week in the life project that I took on, is my first week in the life vlog. It's definitely been a lot more challenging and a lot more tiring than I thought it would be. It's definitely really draining knowing that you have to vlog every single day that you wake up. I don't know how some of these guys do it. This is my first time trying it, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the video.
What's your favorite Pixel 10 Pro feature?
Well, other than the fact that it actually feels incredible in your hands, probably the most comfortable feeling Android phone, I think my favorite feature has to be definitely the Zoom AI thing, where you can zoom into something and then it uses AI to like enhance the image. Absolutely incredible.
Favorite Pixel 10 Pro XL feature?
There are not many. It's mostly AI stuff, but I think the best one is probably voice translation feature, actually.
Voice translation, you used it?
No, for some reason, it's actually not available on mine. I don't know why. I don't think they've rolled it out yet, but from the demos, it was pretty good.
Favorite Pixel 10 XL feature? Pixel Pro.
Wait, I haven't used it yet.
Oh, you haven't used it?
just
All right,
got it
okay. Give me your favorite Pixel 10 feature.
Favorite Pixel 10 feature? So far, I really like the haptics. I don't know what they did. I feel like the haptics are better.
Yeah,
That's the
me
first
too.
thing I noticed about this phone. The haptics are really good. And across the UI, like they put a lot of like really fine like haptic details. Like when you're like scrolling on the volume bar, the brightness, like even just opening notification shade and just swiping on the notifications, very, very satisfying.
And before I head out for the Audi shoot at night that I mentioned, it's actually my turn to cook dinner tonight. And my specialty is steak and potatoes. That's the thing that I like to think that I make the best, and my wife does request it pretty frequently. So I would like to think that it's not half bad.
Set a timer for 7 minutes.
I've set a timer for 7 minutes. Cook a 1-inch steak on a hot grill for about 6 minutes on the first side and 4 minutes on the second side to achieve a medium doneness.
Now, whenever I do any kind of activity that requires me timing something, I will generally use my phone to set timers, and I'll try and do this through voice activation because my hands are busy. So in this example of me cooking steak, I obviously can't use my hands because I'm busy cooking, so I would just ask Gemini to set timers for me, and this worked as you would expect. It worked really well, as it does on any kind of modern smartphone, and there wasn't really much here to think about or to investigate. I was just happy that my phone worked as I wanted it to. Now, after dinner, my wife was kind enough to accompany me to the shoot, and here I did try and take some videos with the Pixel in the super night mode, but something to note, for whatever reason, if you take videos in the super night mode and then you try and bring them into a video editor, it's not going to accept the format for some reason, and that's something that I have yet to figure out. So if anybody knows the solution, definitely let me know. I wasn't able to include those videos in this video for that reason, but I will leave you with the video that I filmed for Audi here, so you can check it out. If you guys like it, definitely let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. This video took a lot of effort and a lot of work.
Man, it's been a long week, so I finally got to go to the gym. I haven't worked out since Monday when I went to go play ball. It's just been super busy, and unfortunately, me going to the gym is the first thing that kind of falls by the wayside whenever I get super busy. Yeah, I didn't realize what a challenge it would be filming the week in the life with the Pixel while filming all the projects that I have going on. But we're making our way through. The week has just been a lot more exhausting. Today is more of a slow day. I do have one meeting with Red Bull actually for our project that we're going to be filming in Alberta next week. I leave on Wednesday. But other than that, today's going to be pretty chill, and we're going to try and hopefully take it easy, meaning that we'll probably spend a lot of time scrolling on TikTok or something. We should test the phone's battery, so let's see what I end up at today. Yeah, I'm excited. This week's been rough. It's literally pouring so hard outside right now. I'm glad I did the Audi video yesterday because this would not have been. Here, check it out. I also have to pack for that Red Bull trip that I just had the meeting about, but yeah, this is what my office looks like right now. I'll probably have to blur out some of this stuff because some of this stuff is definitely unreleased and I can't show you, but yeah, this is what it looks like when I'm packing for a long trip.
So if you've made it to the end of this video, I just genuinely want to thank you for watching all the way through to Friday. Like I mentioned a few times in this video, this is my first time doing a week in the life with any kind of tech product, and it was definitely a much bigger challenge and undertaking that I had initially expected. So for Friday, we didn't have much going on. We were expecting a new furniture delivery to kind of spice up our living room. We're in the middle of a remodel, and I did go to the gym again, but I really just want to talk about my overall thoughts on the Pixel 10 Pro XL and what I think about it as an Android device, how it compares to Apple, and if this is a device that I would continue to use. And as an Apple fanboy and somebody who uses an iPhone pretty much for like 90% of the year, other than the times that I'm testing out new devices and working for brands, I was genuinely blown away. And I remember telling my wife as I took the SIM card out on Saturday morning that I'm actually gonna miss using this Android device because honestly, it never really felt like I left my iPhone. So if you're somebody that's coming from iOS, this device will feel incredibly familiar, and I'm happy to report that the battery life at the end of every single day did really well, as you can see from the battery summaries. I'm someone who uses my phone, I like to think, quite a bit. I use it for scrolling, I take photos, I use it for social media, and because I work in social media, I use my phone to do research and take videos and just use ChatGPT to try and solve problems in my daily life. These are the things that I use my phone for, and I think that what most people use their phones for as well. And in those areas, it really excels. There have definitely been complaints from people saying that the processor is not as powerful as they had hoped, but I hadn't experienced any kind of lagging or any kind of issues at any point when I was using this phone. And that's because for the most part, I use my phone like a regular person. I do all the things that I just mentioned, and when it comes to those things, the Pixel 10 Pro XL really excels you see what I did there, and it does a phenomenal job in everyday tasks. The Android Auto works really well. I don't have to do any kind of fidgeting or anything with it whenever I enter my car. It just starts working right away, which is not always the case with Apple CarPlay, so I was really happy to see that. All the cameras on the Pixel are really usable, and the post-processing that it's doing for the photos that come straight out of camera is just absolutely amazing. I love the way that the Google payment and the Google Wallet works. You don't have to double tap on any kind of button. You just present your phone whenever you're ready to pay, which is just awesome to see. I love convenience and anything that minimizes buttons or me having to do any kind of additional task to get anything done. At the end of the day, would I recommend the Pixel 10 Pro XL to anybody who's looking to get a new phone? If you're an Android user, I think this might be the best phone that I've used this year, and I might just be saying that because it was the most similar to my iPhone, like I've mentioned a few times, but that's my honest opinion. And if you're an iPhone user that's curious about using an Android, I think this is the only device that you really want to consider.